momentarily. But first, thanks to our wonderful sponsors. I don't know if you just saw the news, but average U.S. household debt just hit $152,000. That's mortgages, cars, cards, student loans. But the national debt just hit $37 trillion. It's all going up. Ask yourself this. When the system hiccups, who bails you out? It's not the Fed, not the politicians, and that's why I own gold. Gold doesn't need a CEO, doesn't need missed earnings. It doesn't freeze your account on a Friday at 4:59. While they print, gold just sits there doing what it's done for thousands of years. Store value. If you're done playing musical chairs with your savings, get something real in your hand. That's why you should try our good friends Kirk Elliott Precious Metals today. Goldwithjustin.com. Kirk and the team going to walk you through what they're doing, whether you're a seasoned pro when it comes to buying precious metals or you're just getting started. Call Kirk and the team today at 720-605-3900. That's 720-605-3900, or go to goldwithjustin.com to find out how they can help you today. No pressure, just facts and a plan. That's goldwithjustin.com. Protect what's yours with gold. Goldwithjustin.com. Do it today. When the grocery shelves go empty, you're out of time. That's the truth. Disasters hit fast. Storms, blackouts, supply chain chaos, and the first thing to vanish is food. That's why smart Americans, just like you, are stocking up now with My Patriot Supply. You can go to preparewithjustin.com right now to get a 3-month emergency food kit, and they'll even throw in a free 4-week food kit to boot. That's 4 whole months of meals ready to eat. No refrigeration needed, all with a 25-year shelf life. We're talking breakfast, lunches, dinners, over 2,000 calories a day to keep you strong when everything else shuts down. So don't wait until the crisis is here. Order today, and it ships fast and discreet. Go to preparewithjustin.com. That's preparewithjustin.com, because when the lights go out, the last thing you should be worrying about is feeding your family. Preparewithjustin.com. It's here, the grand reopening of the merch store, justinbarclay.com/store. We've got brand new tees, hoodies, and gear in fresh designs, colors, and sizes, even some for the kids. You're going to find favorites like the FAFO, Fool Around, Find Out shirt, the Gulf of America tees, sweats, and more. And alligator Alcatraz designs are ready to wear and ready to make a statement. And even cups. We've got mugs. We've got bags. We've got hats. All kinds of great stuff inside the store. Perfect for the rally, the weekend, or just everyday life. Shop now at justinbarclay.com. Shop now at justinbarclay.com/store. That's justinbarclay.com/store. Do it today. Yep, another large retail store just canceled a huge order, leaving My Pillow with a ton of extra pillows. But you know what? Mike and the team have decided to make that lemons your lemonade. It's their loss, your gain. My Pillow offering the classic collection for wholesale prices, only $17.98 for a standard My Pillow. But it gets even better. For a limited time, they're going to offer their entire classic collection at wholesale prices. You're going to get extra great, extraordinary prices, great deals on amazing products, and help support Mike and the cause.
Close to you in West Michigan. Join the conversation now at 616-774-2424. That's 616-774-2424. It's West Michigan Live with Justin Barclay on Wood Radio.
All right, U.S. added better than expected. I'm trying to read that. How many jobs is that? Can you see the number? It looks like 115,000. 19. All right, good. 119,000. By the way, it's not me. My eyes are great, but that TV is not. That TV. Hadn't seen better day. Speaking of big numbers. Yeah, that's a fantastic report. We've got another one for you coming up in just a moment. Your help with the turkey draft this year. Unreal.
News, weather, and traffic. And the biggest stories of the day. We're talking about what matters most in West Michigan and beyond. This is the Big Three. Now, today's Big Three.
Yeah, the stories that matter most. We've been talking about these around the water cooler, the dinner table, no matter where you are, powered by our good friends at Heartland Home Mortgage. You know, Dave Galloway and the team talking about how interest rates are coming down over the last couple of weeks. We've talked about those 50-year mortgages as well. We have Dave on all the time. We reach out. He's kind of like our expert in our pocket in this interest rate, mortgage rate, and mortgages sector. But he can be yours too. You can reach out to Dave, ask those questions, get those answers. Dave and the team standing by, willing to help you save thousands like they've helped us and many others who listen to this program faster, better than the big banks. Whether you buy, refi, home equity, line of credit, they can help you in a number of ways. You may just want to reach out and say, hey, Dave, thanks for the support.
Number one.
Keeps this program rolling, and we appreciate that. Well, he signed it. President Trump has signed the bill, the Epstein bill, forcing the release of all unclassified records tied to Jeffrey Epstein. Now, you heard that, unclassified. Man, just remember that as we, as we get a little closer in on this. The days start ticking along. You know, they got 30 days. Well, that's another thing. I've already seen complaints over this. The Epstein Files Transparency Act, that's the law that Congress put together, not the president again. They got 30 days, the Justice Department, to put this stuff together, the documents, all of that, and get it out. Names, connections, long suppressed details could finally see the light. It sounds to me, I'm not holding my breath, but I'm just going to tell you, the ones that we're already starting to see come to light, and some of this is self-inflicted. The Democrats, well, they could be implicated. Lots of them is, remember, Epstein was a big Democrat donor. Trump White House already on the offense. President Trump with a Truth Social post on the subject yesterday saying this. Jeffrey Epstein, who was charged by the Trump Justice Department in 2019, not the Democrats, was a lifelong Democrat, donated thousands of dollars to Democrat politicians, was deeply associated with many well-known Democrat figures such as Bill Clinton, who traveled on his plane 26 times, Larry Summers, who just resigned from many boards, including Harvard, sleazebag political activist Reid Hoffman, minority leader Hakeem Jeffries, who asked Epstein to donate to his campaign after Epstein was charged. That just happened. Democrat Congresswoman Stacey Plaskett, who's from the Virgin Islands, where that island was. Plaskett texting back and forth with Epstein that day she was caught. Now it's been revealed in a hearing against on Trump, I think. At the moment, all of this, he says, will be revealed because I have, quote, just signed the bill to release the Epstein files. There's more and more of this, by the way. Still doubling down on calling it the Huxville, the part where the Democrats and the media try to pin it on him. That could be an interesting time in the days ahead, folks.
Number two.
How about this? 253 individuals illegally harbored from a Michigan plumbing company. And I was looking at how much revenue they generated, $74 million. And they had people coming in from God knows where, here in the country illegally. They were all employed. Now, those were jobs Michiganders could have enjoyed. Now, I don't know how much they paid these people, but $74 million in that revenue. Owners, Hispanic themselves. Interesting story. You're going to hear a little bit about this in the news, but I wanted to make sure you heard about it today. I'll dig through into it. Of course, they were housing them, not authorized to work. They were housing them in overcrowded conditions, collecting their passports and paying them through bank accounts controlled by the companies. Essentially like modern day indentured servitude or slavery in some ways. And again, it happened the other side of the state, but details you'll need to know.
Number three.
Maybe the biggest story of the day, and it kind of gets overshadowed by the Epstein story and some others, but Supreme Court has approved Trump's removal of foreign terrorists like Trendaragua and some of these other gangs. It's a story that, we were watching to see what they were going to. I didn't think there's any way you could tell a president he can't do what he wanted to do, and especially in this case, to defend the country. But of course, it was challenged like everything else.
Now we have a Fox News alert. The Supreme Court just cleared the way for Trump to deport illegals even faster. The High Court ruled that Trump can use the Alien Enemies Act to send Venezuelan gangbangers to a mega prison in El Salvador. This is a huge ruling in Trump's favor and a major win for the country.
It is a 5-4 decision, Supreme Court giving the president sweeping wartime authority under the 1798 Alien Enemies Act. So there you have it. The stories you won't hear anywhere else. Historic. Changes everything, a lot of it, in fact. And then, but wait, there's more. In fact, we have some big numbers we've got to share with you as well in just a moment. But first, chance to weigh in on anything today. You can hit the phone lines. We'd love to hear from you and join in the conversation.
Call Justin now at 616-774-2424. That's 616-774-2424. West Michigan Live with Justin Barclay on News Radio Wood 1300 and 106.9 FM.
Yep, big one. Big one. It was a big one for sure. The biggest of all time, in fact. 7,033 turkeys. Now, those are physical turkeys and donations that came through cash and the donations online, checks and things like that as well. Reported the goal, Mel Trotter and Wood Radio setting out for just 5,000. That was the goal. And people were wondering, will they make it? Will they break it? What's going to happen? We just don't know because of the kind of year and the economy. We heard all things about, all of it. But I had no doubt. I just knew that the people here in Michigan, so generous and incredible. We just can't do this thing. It's 22 years. You don't do anything alone when it comes to something like this, especially. But it is made possible really by I think only by the generosity in this area, this community, and really essentially because of those values of faith that I think drive people to do things like this. And by the way, all this stuff that we've heard in the last couple of months on SNAP and helping people who need it most. And you know what? It just occurs to me that this right here, this is how it's supposed to work. This right is the people helping people, stepping up, doing the right thing because it's the right thing. People helping people. And you people do that year in and year out, and it is incredible to watch. I never get tired of seeing it. It's so inspiring. In fact, we took our girls yesterday. It was in the afternoon, probably about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, something like that. And we took them to the store. We let them pick out a big bird in the 3 and the 5. Well, she'll be 5 here in a couple of weeks, but picking out these birds, and they can't. I mean, the 5-year-old she wrapped that thing up in her arms and she carried it for a little bit. And then she said, "Dad, can you take this?" I said, "Yeah." And I had my hand on the strap of it the whole time because I want to make sure that, this thing doesn't fall and break a toe or something. Because those birds are heavy, man, and frozen. It's like carrying around a barbell or something, And we had the moment just to kind of walk them through why we were doing it, and the most simplest terms, honey, that there are some families that can't have a turkey for Thanksgiving or won't have a turkey for Thanksgiving unless we help them. And that moment, being able to have a teachable moment with them was just really incredible. It was heartwarming. And I think I have a sense, anyway, we were talking about this, and essentially why the numbers were so big this year, why it was another record-breaking year. And I said, I think I have a sense that, first of all, the weather was so nice yesterday. Lots of giving happened in person. A little differently than it normally happens every year. And I said, the weather was so nice. I think people wanted to get out and be a part of it. But the other thing that I really I have a sense, just a feeling that because of the way of the world, the way things are right now, all the insanity, I don't have to go through and name it all, right? But all the insanity and everything else, that I think people, they had a craving, a hunger. You know, they had like a need to be a part of this. And I think in a especially in a day, in an age, in a year where there's just so much going on. And by the way, that is undeniable. I totally get it. I can't blame you. I really felt the same way. This year's turkey drop, as the kids would say, hit different. You know, maybe it was seeing that first family, hearing about the stories of these people, right? Rolling up before sunrise with a frozen turkey in the back seat. Kids still in the pajamas, you know, smiling like they were dropping off treasure. Honestly, that's what it was, right? It is. Where your heart is, that's where your treasure will be too. We know that. The Bible tells us. Every time I see this, so I will tell you, it is incredible. It never ceases to amaze me. I'm reminded each year of what West Michigan does best. You know, you show up, you give. You don't wait for instructions or somebody else to come save you. You act. And after 22 years of doing this, it still gets to me. I want you to think about this for a moment. Picture a mom who doesn't know how she's going to put a meal on the table this next week. Would you picture a dad knowing he's trying to do everything he can just to keep it together? Trying to hide the stress on his face of the day-to-day, that grind. Dads, you know what I'm talking about. Picture a kid who thinks Thanksgiving just another Thursday because it always is, until someone like you steps in. You know, one turkey changes that day for them. And sometimes it changes far more. And that's why this matters. So I want to say thank you. On behalf of all of us here at Wood Radio, Mel Trotter Ministries, Life EMS are wonderful sponsors. So many, can't name them all, but I got to tell you, each and every one of you that dropped off a frozen turkey, made a donation online, every bit of it helps. And every year you blow us away. So thanks for showing up again, and thanks for caring. Thanks for proving why it's so great to live here in West Michigan. And that when the right thing is still in style, it never went out of style. And that generosity, and above all, love, still wins. By the way, if you think, I missed out, I didn't get a chance to be a part of it, no, you still can. You can still drop off turkeys at Mel Trotter Ministries, or you can still help by giving online, woodradio.com. There's still a link up. And we just appreciate it all. Thank you so much. God bless you all, and God bless America. We're back in moments right after this, grabbing the latest from the Midwest in our headlines.
You are. Stream us on your smartphone. It's West Michigan Live with Justin Barkley on News Radio Wood 1300 and 106.9 FM.
Here are your headlines from the Midwesterner this Thursday, November 20th. I'm Robin Poffman. Michigan Senator Democrat Alyssa Slotkin making national news as she and some fellow Democrat lawmakers try to undermine President Trump. Slotkin taking to her X page with this video.
I'm Senator Alyssa Slotkin.
Senator Mark Kelly. Representative Chris DeLuzio. I was a captain in the United States Navy.
Former CIA officer.
Former Navy.
Former paratrooper and Army Ranger.
Former intelligence officer.
Former Air Force.
We want to speak directly to members of the military
And the intelligence community.
who take risks each day to keep Americans safe.
We know you are under enormous stress and pressure right now. Americans trust their military.
But that trust is at risk.
Governor Whitmer busy giving away contraceptives as Michigan struggles to grow its population, the state giving out more than 300,000 condoms, along with 60,000 doses of emergency contraception. For these stories and more, visit the Midwesterner at themidwesterner.news.
Attention.
Markets falling.
If you suffer from consistent pain in your joints caused by arthritis, overuse, or injury, you may be a candidate for a
All right, folks, back at it. Appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for your support again for yesterday and your support being here with us every day. We really appreciate it. I know we skipped the after show yesterday, but obviously you could see this was for a good cause. It worked out well. Coming up, we got some really good conversations today. Patty McMurray is going to join us from the Gateway Pundit about 9:35. Meet Michigan's dead voters. Several voted in person. Others voted absentee. One voted 41 years after he died. That's the story the Gateway Pundit has. Patty will join us uncovering the latest. And again, this is a story we stay on top of. It needs to see the light of day. I'm going to put that in the stack. Make sure you get that shared so people get out and get a chance to see it. I put it up on X as well. So it is out there. And it's one that, again, we need people to understand and see so that they can see the light on it. Good morning to the VIPs over on the Freedom Fam. I see Terry Hemmy's here. Greta, good morning. Appreciate you being here with us, Nana. Pickles, good to see you. What a great screen name, Pickles. Dana, good to see you too. Salo Sue. Did I say Sharon? I want to say it again just to make sure. Doesn't hurt to say it twice. Such a time as this over on Rumble. History Diggers. Jenny Lynn, good to see you. Kristen. Kristen's going to be on Newsmax tonight, I think it's 8 o'clock. Correct me if that's wrong. Kristen, Megan, Kelly. Making an appearance on Newsmax tonight. If you want to tune in and check that out. I'll say good morning to the folks on Getter, too, but you got to jump in the chat and say something, because it reloads every time that I have to put it up here. So say hey. The Bookers, Sherry, Shelley, Sean, Cindy, Jessica, Laura, Tammy, Jason, Karen, and so many others. Thank you all for being here. The folks on the tube today as well, and X watching as we continue to bring you the truth, logic, and common sense you won't hear anywhere else. Also, click share today if you haven't done that. Really helps kick the algorithm into effect with Facebook, because they try to shadow ban us, but it's something that does help us get the word out about what's actually happening and get us on the air. Stand by. Here we go.
Listening to News Radio Wood 1300 and 106.9 FM.
Coming up at 9:35, the conversation with Patty McMurray from the Gateway Pundit, and the headlines, wild. She'll have the full story coming up in Jocelyn Benson's Michigan that she oversees. Matter of fact, she wants to oversee her own election to governor. This kind of thing's happening. Meet Michigan's dead voters. Several voted in person. Others voted absentee. One voted 41 years after he died. Incredible. Well, Patty breaks it all down. Coming up after this, we'll check our headlines. Bottom of the hour, and we're back in just moments. So don't go anywhere, folks. It's another big day. We got a big win in the Michigan House and Legislature. We'll continue to keep you updated on that as well. It's West Michigan Live.
FYI. Like, literally. It's West Michigan Live with Justin Barkley on News Radio Wood 1300 and 106.9 FM.
Well, we're just minutes before the markets open, so remember this. And in fact, I think that jobs report is probably going to be a doozy for them today, especially if you look at some of the futures. We're already up big. Lots of green on the screen. Dow up almost 500, S&P up 100, NASDAQ up over 500 already as well. Sometimes this whole thing, even when it's going well, can feel like a roller coaster ride. The markets, your retirement, you're like, what do I do? What do you want to retire today, tomorrow, 10, 20 years down the road? Don't feel nauseous. Need to be able to sleep well at night, and Mike Lester and the team at Talon Wealth can help you do just that. No matter when you want to retire or where you want to go with it all. They'll help you guarding your nest egg, guardingyournestegg.com, or you can call them at 616-661-1000. That's 616-661-1000, but do it today before it's too late.
Kick off Christmas with our iHeartRadio.
All right, folks, rolling right along. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. Had to move some things around here. Watching the behind the scenes live stream. Thank you for tuning in here. I do believe Patty is on the line. Let me just make sure. Let me just bring her up for a quick second. Patty, good morning. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
You're not on the air, but you're on the stream on the internet on Facebook, Twitter, X, Rumble, Get Our Locals, YouTube, all those different places. So I just wanted to say hi and thank you for doing it. Video's always best, but I know it's last minute, so don't worry about that. We'll still have you on that stream on the video, but they love to see your smiling face, you know.
I would normally love to do it, but I'm so used to just calling in. I wasn't really prepared for it.
It is all good. Well, we appreciate it. We got sounds like a really big story here that we've been talking about. And the funny thing is, and we'll get to this when we get on the air. Like I said, we're just talking to people during the commercial break on this thing, but this is a story that should be it should be a massive story, but in these days, everything it's so overwhelming. We got stories coming at us a million miles a minute, and it's so hard to cover it. But
right.
This is a big one, it sounds like.
Yeah, no, it is a big one, but I can promise you that I have an even bigger one coming up in a couple of days here.
Oh boy, folks, you heard that. You heard that. A little bit of a tease. She said, got an even bigger one coming up. All right, Patty, we're going to put you on hold, and then we'll come back to you probably, I'd say like 4 minutes, 3-4 minutes at tops here.
Okay.
You got it. Thank you very much. An even bigger one. Should we try and pry it out of her? I wonder what it could possibly be. This is the thing. The find out era is here, and all the fooling around is getting exposed, I think, little by little. Now, here's the thing. I say this, I won't hold my breath, for some of these things. But I will tell you, I do see more and more coming to light. There's more and more happening every day. We hear more and more of these stories. And at some point, you just wonder, will it be enough to be the tipping point? Now, I haven't said this yet this morning, but I did post about it earlier today. Look, I've shared it before, so you'll get it. I mean, this makes sense. But what's weird to me? And I guess it's probably not weird. I'm used to it by now. But everything that we're hearing of the Epstein story and the files finally coming out and all this and all the rest, I said this earlier today. I posted this picture, which I thought was kind of funny. This is a Babylon Bee story. And the picture, and it says, Trump sadly announces a dog ate the Epstein files, and then the dog was lost in a boating accident, and then the boat was nuked. And I posted with this. By the way, if it's on Facebook and Instagram right now. If you want to go share it, you can. But I said, no matter what happens next, I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt that no one will be happy. There will be so many people. There are going to be people. There are already people complaining and whining and you know what, over the 30 days. There's 30 days? Why does it have to take them 30 days? Well, that's what the law was written, by the way. That's the bill that Congress wrote. And everybody was for that bill until all of a sudden, I guess they're not. And I think even if they come out squeaky clean, like there's no redactions, people are going to say, they're hiding something. They didn't include something, especially Democrats. They're going to be like, I know Trump was in there. He must have. And they're already starting to say they're scrubbing it. I told you a couple of days ago they were going to do that. Already starting to say, they're scrubbing the files. Right now they're scrubbing the files. That's why it's going to take them 30 days, right? That's what we're hearing. And then if it does come out with any redactions whatsoever, see, we told you the redactions. So I'm just telling you, people aren't going to be happy. And I just think this thing has been built up to be something so big. And there may be things so big. But whatever was redacted, trust me, they did it a long time ago. And some of that probably would be done. You know, we heard about the FBI and the burn bags. What was in the burn bags? Some of that is going to be probably done, a decade ago or more with other administrations. So I'm just telling you, Sean says the find out era is really slow for consequences. And that's kind of how it works. Sometimes it's in a heartbeat. You ever heard the term overnight success? Very similar. A lot of times people will say that person was an overnight success, but they see the tip of the iceberg. They don't see all the things that went into making it happen over the years. That's kind of what this is like. Hang on, got to get back on the air.
LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor.
Hey, it's Glenn Beck, and you're listening to West Michigan Live with our good friend, Justin Barclay. The Glenn Beck program coming up at 10 on Wood Radio.
This is the September jobs report. Non-farm payrolls are up a robust 119,000. 119,000 would be the best since April when we were up 158,000. If we look at labor force participation rate, it ticked up. That's a good thing. 62.4 equals where we were in May. You have to go to April of this year when it was 62.6 to find a higher number. If we look at the hours worked, and this is always important, it remains at 34.2. To find a lower number, you're going to January when it was 34.1.
It's a massive report, by the way. That report from CNBC, and Wall Street loves it. I told you what the futures looked like. Now we're at actual numbers on open. 633 points as we speak with the Dow. Over 100 with the S&P and the NASDAQ, almost 500 at 474. So there's a lot going on there today. But just to let you know, that's what we're keeping our eye on for you. And we'll do more of that coming up. But first, a major bombshell story. Patty McMurray with the Gateway Pundit here right now. Listen to this headline. This is incredible. And we just talked to her off the air. She goes, you think this is big? I got an even bigger story coming for you in the next few days. But she says, meet Michigan's dead voters. Several voted in person. Others voted absentee. One voted 41 years after he died. Patty's with us right now. Welcome in, Patty. Appreciate you being here.
Hi, Justin. Thanks for having me. I appreciate you allowing me to tell my story, or the story that every Michigander should know about.
We're just talking about, there's so many things happening that stuff like this, which would be in any other time, right? Major bombshell news and information just kind of gets swept under the rug. And there's a lot of folks that want to see that happen anyway, but there's just so much going on right now. This deserves a big spotlight, though.
Yeah, thank you. I agree with you. I I really owe this investigation to a Check My Vote investigator who has done amazing work, and she prefers not to be named, and so I'm not going to name her, but she's been doing this work for several years now, finding voters on the voter rolls, especially the ones with these, 1900 or before birth dates, and then investigating and finding out that these people are in fact deceased, and there's a record of them being deceased. She reaches out to the clerks in Michigan, across the state of Michigan. And by the way, this is not just a Republican or Democrat clerk problem. This is a bipartisan problem with our clerks not removing these names, these dead voters from the voter rolls, whether it's intentionally or just, laziness or negligence. I'm not sure what the problem is, but there's a real problem with dead voters on our voter rolls that are not being removed. And I'm talking about obvious dead voters. Just, and just for example, just in Wayne County alone, they're in January of 25, before this research was presented to the clerk, there were 301 voters over the age of 115 living or registered to vote, active voters on our voter rolls. Since this investigator has presented this evidence, there are now 257, which is still obviously a number that's way too high, voters that are over 115 years old. And as I mentioned in my story, the oldest living person in America is 115 years old.
Incredible.
So the fact that we have 257 active registered voters just in Wayne County alone that are 115 years old should be a pretty disturbing number for a lot of people.
There's the headstone of 116-year-old Artis Barnes. What wild to see some of these stories, and as you mentioned, this seems to be people wonder like, what's the smoking gun? How are they doing? How are they monkeying with you? But there's a number of things, right? There is a number of things that they're doing, and this seems to be just one of them. Whether it's actively part of what they do to monkey with things, or it's just something that they've left in there to throw us off the scent. It needs to be talked about, because here's the bottom line. I don't care what anyone says or thinks about these. There should never even be an appearance of impropriety when it comes to any of this. And this Secretary of State, Jocelyn Benson, has been one of the worst. I mean, judge after judge has said, you're breaking the law. And here she is. She's going to oversee her own election for governor. I mean, that's just preposterous.
Yeah. It's disturbing, really, because our voter rolls, in my opinion, from what I can tell, because I've been looking back at the history of our voter rolls, they've never been more corrupt. Our voter rolls, and I did mention that I have another pretty big story coming out. I think it's really going to shock a lot of people, not just in Michigan, but across the country, related to our voter rolls. They are corrupt. As I mentioned in a previous interview with you, we now have all the documentation from the 2020 election in Detroit. We obtained that through a FOIA, and there's a team of incredible investigators working on this information and putting this data together. But one of the pieces of the puzzle that was solved in this article that I wrote was solved by actually obtaining the absentee ballot envelope that was signed by a dead voter, Thelma Steele, who was a World War II veteran. And these are the kinds of stories, honestly, that should break people's hearts, because here this gentleman served in World War II. He died several years ago, and he's somehow come back from the grave, thanks to somebody who's added his vote to our voter rolls, and also just the vote total in Wayne County. This individual was born in 1912, and he voted in November 2020 election, and again in the August 21st and November 21st general election. So he's voted 3 times, but fortunately we were able to find his absentee ballot envelope with his signature on it. And not only does the signature not look anything like the like the date that was added to his signature, but it doesn't look anything like, doesn't even resemble the signature on his marriage certificate. So,
I was just going to say, we're with Patty McBurry right now. She's a contributor at the Gateway Pundit with the latest story here. And you said, Patty, there's an even bigger one, an even bigger bombshell around the corner, it sounds like.
Yeah, we do have, we're pouring through these voter rolls, and we're just finding things that are just incredible. And, you know, and it's the things that we're finding are surprising to us because they're not something we would have thought of before, and something that's never been examined before. And it's just amazing. Every time we turn around, we find a new way that Michigan voters are being cheated by these voter rolls. And it's actually an emergency that the federal government comes in and takes a look at these voter rolls and helps to clean them up, because we know that Jocelyn Benson, not only does she not have any interest in cleaning these voter rolls up, but she's absolutely defiant. She's been defiant with the state legislature and now with the federal government. So, you know, it's imperative that somebody comes in and cleans up these voter rolls, especially before her name appears on the ballot for governor of the state of Michigan.
Yeah, there's nothing she won't do to, and then this goes for all Democrats, but she's particularly bad. Not that she won't do it to gain or retain power. Eric Nesbitt, by the way, this is breaking, just wrote this, Senate Minority Leader running for governor here as a Republican. He's been one of the folks urging the federal government to get involved and oversee this election. Despite Jocelyn's claims, thousands of dead people on the voter rolls does not make our election safe and secure. It's time for the DOJ to show her what a secure election really looks like. Well, Patty, thank you for staying on top. We'll have you back next week when you have your big bombshell, whenever it drops. We'll have you back for the latest, and please definitely come back. Let us know what you found.
Well, thank you, Justin.
By the way, folks, if we don't get this right, we can do anything else we want, but if we don't get this whole thing right, none of it means anything. This is what matters. Thank you so much. As always, more coming up, folks. You can join the program at any time. 616-774-2424. Jump on the line with us. We're back next. Speaker of the House, Matt Hall, with another big win in Lansing. We'll fill you in on that right after this.
Informative, engaging. It's West Michigan Live with Justin Barkley on News Radio Wood 1300 and 106.9 FM.
Here are your headlines from the Midwesterner this Thursday, November 20th. I'm Robin Poffman. Michigan Senator Democrat Alyssa Slotkin up to some new tricks as she tries to undermine President Trump. Slotkin, along with fellow Democrats on Capitol Hill, posting a video to X, calling on the deep state to rise up against the president.
No one has to carry out orders that violate the law or our Constitution.
We know this is hard and that it's a difficult time to be a public servant.
But whether you're serving in the CIA,
The Army, or Navy,
the Air Force,
your vigilance is critical.
know that we have your back.
Don't give up. Don't give up. Don't give up.
Don't give up the ship.
Governor Whitmer's Department of Health and Human Services busy with population control. Turns out the department handing out more than 300,000 condoms and 60,000 doses of emergency contraception for women. This as Michigan is struggling to grow its population. For these stories and more, visit the Midwesterner at themidwesterner.news.
Do you own a small business? A seismic shift is coming. It's time to get super sure.
Alrighty then, folks. Rolling. The fastest hour in radio is flying by. So we're going to have the latest on this big story coming up. I don't know. There's so many things that I want to get to. We do have an after show today, so I'll make sure we start rolling through that. Let's see. Mama Boom. Zhang Dao is me. I think I said that right. Over on Getter. See, I'm trying to do a little bit better on Getter. Trying to do a little bit better on Getter. And get those names out there. Thank you guys for hanging out with us, being a part of the behind the scenes live stream. I do have a bit of a bonus for you coming up About 10:30, we got a Maha up there. You know, they had a big Maha summit last week, and some of the stuff that came out was pretty impactful. Some of it was pretty big stuff. So we want to make sure that we get through some of that coming up. We will. Lots of moving pieces and parts, folks. Stand by. We're back on the air in just a moment. I know there was something else I wanted to share with you. Oh, North Carolina. What's happening in North Carolina right now? Have you seen all this? We've got a 28-point peace plan for Russia and Ukraine that Trump has approved. Again, some of this stuff, it's happening so quickly. You can't get around it. All right, stand by. Stand by, folks. Here we go. Back on the air. Five years ago this week, by the way.
Future holiday gatherings together by taking this seriously now.
Remember this?
By not gathering with people outside of your household this Thanksgiving. It is an act of kindness and love. We're preserving future holiday gatherings together.
It was an act of kindness and love that you couldn't go to Thanksgiving. Remember that? A lot of us just had we had funerals for our pet turkeys, and the family was we were able to gather for Thanksgiving. I mean, for the funeral, excuse me, can you believe 5 years ago this week in the Wolverine Queen, Mom telling us whether we were grounded or not? Holy cow, isn't that something? We've come a long way. In fact, you're watching some of that happen as we speak. It takes a little while to unravel that mess, but it is happening at record pace. And one of those big stories that we're following, in fact, just happened this week. Big celebration in the House here in Lansing. Speaker Matt Hall joins us right now. Mr. Speaker, thank you so much for taking the time.
Hey, good morning. Thanks for having me.
Big celebration. You guys have you got another big win here.
Well, you're right. You know, when we have a principled conservative Republican House, we can force Governor Whitmer to do things that align with our platform and agenda. It's still tough because they control two branches of government, the governor and the Senate, but the Republicans, you know, we flipped the House this year, and so we can still accomplish some things. And what we did was we implemented HEAT, the Hall Ethics Accountability and Transparency Plan, and this was a real tough one. So, you know, during the COVID-19 pandemic, there was so much money flowing into government. The politicians, they would just spend it. I mean, without anyone knowing what they were doing with it. So we'd get, you know, a budget bill and they'd tack on $1 or $2 billion of pork spending at the last minute. You'd say, what are these things? And you'd get, you know, 4 or 5 word descriptions. And then, you know, a year after the vote, we'd start to find out what these things were. And, you know, we'd see hip hop academies, splash pads, big new buildings in Lansing. I mean, the DNR, for some reason, built a $5 million pool in Lansing, all kinds of things. And big Democrat developers would get huge windfalls. So what I said when I became Speaker is, you know, we need to start reining in this pork spending, and we need to come up with HEAT, the Hall Ethics Accountability and Transparency Plan, which forces them to disclose this 45 days in advance. If you want a pork spending project in the budget, tell us what it is, put your name on it, be proud of it, tell us the public purpose, and when is it going to be complete? And we have to certify the organization exists because they would even give money to millions to organizations that did not exist, and then they create the organizations after they got the money. It was a real, anything goes system, and now we've cleaned that up with the governor signing heat today.
Yeah, it really is interesting. It makes you wonder how we blew through all that money we had in the COVID days, billions upon billions of dollars. I guess it's not hard when you're handing out all those, behind the scenes backroom deal, checks for all your Democrat donor friends, is it?
No, but, they're so addicted to this pork, especially the Democrats. We forced them in this budget we just got done to cut the pork by 87%. We cut $800 million of waste, fraud, and abuse from the budget, including 2,000 ghost employees. And these were fake employees that the Whitmer administration would use to pad their budget so they could spend more. We cut the budget. It's smaller than it was last year. It's a major accomplishment under Whitmer. And then we said, look, we're not going to let you go out once you get these pork projects awarded and just spend all the money. Because what they were doing is you get the pork project, and then the Whitmer administration would say, okay, here's your $25 million. That's how you got this one where the woman went out, paid herself like a $800,000 salary, bought first class tickets and the big what is it, $8,000 coffee maker. Well, we changed it and said, from now on in these projects, if we give it to you, you have to send us your expenses first, and then we'll reimburse you for the ones that are appropriate. So we had to get that under control. I mean, this was a free-for-all for many years under Whitmer, and we've reined it in, and we've put the guardrails on it. And we're going to be watching very close, but I think we finally fixed a lot of that.
Another big win, Speaker Matt Hall there in the House here in Michigan, and of course, yet more to come. This is just the beginning, and I think not just for Republicans there in the House, but this is a win for Michigan for all the folks who, if you're paying taxes, you swear your money's going. Mr. Speaker, thank you so much. Anything else we should be looking for in the days ahead? Things you guys are working on before we let you go?
Well, I just point out that there are some good projects. Like with Whitmer, I could see her punishing a Republican in their district. So, we want roads, we want bridges, we want these things, but not all this, hip hop academies and splash pads and all this other crap they were doing. So we're gonna keep holding the line on this. And the Democrats, once the budget's done, they want to do another budget bill. We're going to block all that. We're really focused on getting better value for your tax dollars, and you're going to see that for the rest of the year.
I love it. Mr. Speaker, thank you so much for the latest and the heads up on this, folks. Another big one. We'll continue to keep you updated. Please come back and let us know when you have more.
I will. Thank you for having me.
You got it. My pleasure. That's Speaker of the House, Republican Speaker of the Republican-controlled House, Matt Hall. As you know, this when you put them back into business, Republicans can rein those folks in. And 2026 is, I think, just as important, maybe more important for Michigan as 24 was for the nation. And we're going to see that, folks. You gotta get those folks back. Well, I think the adults essentially back in the room. That's how it's done. Have you seen what's happening in North Carolina right now? All out assault, essentially going after some of the most illegal criminal folks there, and there are people like Antifa types fighting back. I think there's been a little coverage of this, but not a massive amount. So I want to make sure we cover that during the after show. There's stories that you just haven't heard yet. We'll make sure we get into that, and the markets are going nuts as well. So we'll get into that and more coming up today in the after show. By the way, it's the show after the show. Never miss a minute. Live or archive, you can check it out on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you download your podcasts. JustinBarkley.com for the stories we covered today in the stack. Oh, yeah. The Glenn Beck program is next. Again, thanks to the folks who helped us get it done. Another record year. 7,033 turkeys. Mel Trotter, Life EMS, and you. God bless. All right, sorry, I just realized you guys did not get to hear that. But let me replay it because I want to make sure it's important. It gets out there.
Our Father, who art in the heavens, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our trespasses. We forgive those that trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, deliver us from evil. God is the kingdom, power, and glory forever and ever. Amen. Amen.
All right, let's do it. We got an after show. Got some business to attend to. Lots of business. Lots of business to attend to. We will hit record here, folks. Stand by. Get ready to strap in. It's going to be a heck of a ride. It's like drinking from a fire hose. Never a dull moment, but yes, you'll hear the stories you won't hear anywhere else, and we appreciate you being here with us for them today. I'm Justin Barclay. Welcome in, folks. It is the after show, the show after the show. Appreciate you being here with us. Man, oh man, never a dull moment, never enough time to get to it all. Thank you so much for being a part of the history making that happened yesterday. You did it. 7,033 turkeys donated to Mail Trotter Ministries. And what a fantastic cause. You know, obviously, it's not just Mail Trotter. They work with Feeding America West Michigan, and they get these turkeys out to people who really need them. You know, families that are, you're not going to have a turkey otherwise. And it's 22 years and growing. What a fantastic thing to be a part of. And again, you made it happen. We thank you for that. Welcome into the after show. It's the show after the show today, powered by our good friends at My Pure Health Solutions, healthwithjustin.com. Matter of fact, we have big updates coming up today with Missy. Maha Missy is what I call her. She's going to give us some updates. There have been a couple of major things. In fact, last week there was a whole Maha Summit. The movement is taking ground and making waves. And I think this is going to be something that, again, we're going to see. This thing has ripples, you know, like it's going to echo into eternity what's been happening here. And part of it really, again, has because people like you, average everyday folks, and a lot of the Maha moms, you know, the mama bears have stepped up and said, look, we're not going to do this anymore. We're done. And so that's why you're seeing what you're seeing. It's something, policy is taking place, real change is taking place, and it's not going to go anywhere anytime soon. By the way, that's why I realized with myself, you know, look, making America healthy again starts with me. Starts with what's happening in my home. Yeah. Well, DC is great. Lansing, what happened in Lansing's fine too. You know, you want to push for those things, but what happens right in my home probably matters most. Let's be real. So I got to get my house in order, and myself watching all of that, making a difference. And of course, being there, be a better father, a better husband, you know, being a better man. Am I calling on a daily basis? Whatever I'm doing here, I want to make sure I'm healthy and I'm happy and I can have all the energy that I do now. By the way, I got new numbers for you. We'll tell you about those coming up. Down over 20 pounds, though. I mean, that's pretty incredible. The thing to me is not watching the scale. What makes the biggest difference to me is how the clothes fit, how much energy I have, and how much better I sleep at night. That's a whole nother thing. And my wife, Lizzie, has joined me in our journey too. And you know, it's funny. She constantly comes to me. Every day she's come to me in another outfit. She's going shopping in her closet. Say, look at this. Look at this thing didn't fit last week. Look, it's fitting now. And I can't believe it. She's just over the moon on the whole thing. Trucker Randy, our good friend on the radio, Steve Gruber, lots of folks. You've seen Trucker Randy's results. I mean, the guy, I think he almost lost 100 pounds. It is pretty incredible. Right now, the folks at My Pure Health Solutions have a Black Friday special which they will tell you about a little bit later on in the program. Lowest price of the year. You can lock in a discounted rate. You don't even have to start now. You can get through the holidays if you want, and then kickstart with us as we roll into another phase. I'm going to really get going in January. So if you want to do that, I would say stay tuned, or just go to healthwithjustin.com right now and reach out. They'll walk you through what we're doing. And I say it's a little early, but let's go ahead and get to it. Looks like Missy is actually on with us now. Missy, how are you? Did you mean to come in earlier, or is this?
I don't know. I thought you said something about we might be done by 10:30. So maybe you want me to come on at 10:30. I'm like, but I'm ready to go. I can come back.
I'm glad you're here. Now let's just talk now, because I have a few things that I want to get to a little bit later on.
Okay.
And I'll start to unpack those. But first, let's talk about this, because it is kind of a good Maha. This is a big update. The Maha Summit happened in Washington, D.C. last week. I don't know if you saw any of the clips from it, but we got a couple of big news stories that came out of this. And as you watch what is happening with the policy changes and some of the other major things that are happening, it really is encouraging to see it. Let's start with it. This is number one. Inaugural Maha Summit. This is the first ever. Sparked momentum for health overhauls. The first summit in D.C. brought together leaders like HHS Secretary RFK Jr., Vice President J.D. Vance, NIH Director Jade Bhattacharya, and Oz, and many others. They're talking about cleaning up the food supply, reducing healthcare costs, leveraging tech, personalized health. Key highlights include calls to prioritize nutrition, ban harmful additives, and reform vaccines. The event generated widespread buzz. Lots of live streams all over the internet as folks are watching, and some of those we'll pull out for you here in just a minute. But one of the things that I thought was the most interesting, because if you haven't already heard about it yet, you're going to start to hear about it very soon, and that's this idea that, Obamacare isn't working. Newsflash, Obamacare isn't working. And I've seen Democrats come out and really start railing on Trump about the cost of their health care is going to start going up after the first of the year, because these expanded health credits, or whatever they call them, the price of their insurance is going to double, triple, and even sometimes quadruple or more on some of these folks. They're thinking now we have to try and figure this whole system out. Democrats are floored. They're shocked that Obamacare isn't working. They're trying to blame Trump for it. But what's interesting, I think this is going to end up backfiring like a lot of other things do, because there are new ideas that are coming out. One of them's been President Trump says, I want to send money to the people, so that instead of going right directly to the insurance companies, it goes to these people. They can then decide how it gets spread out. Now, the reason I like this is because it will then give you the power to decide which plan you get. And it'll put back on the insurance companies really the pressure to make sure their plans are good, they're low cost, and they have exactly what we want inside of them. Now, Eric Burleson is a congressman who came up with another idea, Maha account. It's almost like, what do you call those? HSA accounts?
Account. Yeah.
The Maha accounts will help curb rising insurance costs, he says. He's from Missouri. He says these expanded HSAs will allow pre-tax dollars for, get this, healthy foods, flexible insurance choices, and to tackle what he calls, quote unquote, crap food and ballooning premiums. Listen to that. And what if somebody was able to use that HSA account to pay for a program like My Pure Health Solutions? I mean, you talk about absolutely transforming the health.
Yes. Yes. I mean, prayers are being answered, because I don't mean to interrupt, but you're exactly right. There are so many things that we could talk about in that nugget, but you're right. You got to give the power back to the people. And, the Democrats are kind of like, oh, we didn't know this was going to happen. But you know what? They knew it was going to happen. They never dreamed that Trump would win. They thought Hillary was going to get in. And so their plan was just going to keep going, grind us until we tap out and say, give us a universal everything, take care of us. Because they would have depleted all of our resources. They're killing us slowly with the food. So, I mean, it's so brilliant what's going on. As a small people that are out there that are small, business owners like I've been for 30 years, we didn't have the option ever to be able to jump into a corporate policy where a big corporate could go out and buy 3,000 policies for all their their workers at a lower price. Someone like me, we got gouged out the wazoo because back in the day when one of our family members became a type 1 diabetic, all of a sudden that person's policy went to $1,500 a month.
Oh my goodness.
Out of our pocket, and that's out of our pocket after tax money pocket, it's like, this isn't fair, and so yeah, sorry about that. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, yes." I'm so excited. I'm over here silent cheerleader, like, keep going.
But imagine this. I mean, as you just mentioned, what if you could take that money and put it towards treatments that actually work? I got an email. I got to share this with you. I got an email today. In fact, we've talked about some of these horror stories that are happening with the shots that people are taking. And I'm not just talking about vaccines, but I'm talking about the weight loss shots. And this woman, I'm trying to remember. I think it was Monjaro. But I'm trying to remember the name. Either way, it doesn't matter. The point is, it's everything you take and any shot you take, whatever it is, medication, etc. They all have these side effects, and whether you know it or not, whether you like it or not. And this woman who emailed me said that her daughter. Oh yeah, here we go. Let's call her Jane Doe. Justin, my daughter was taking one of the shots in May of 2023. In November of that year, she started with what we thought was a stomach virus, but ended with pancreatitis. She had vomiting, diarrhea, low-grade fever. After 2 days of these symptoms, we had to call 911. She was rushed to the hospital. By the time she got there, she was unconscious. And the ER doctors checked everything they thought it could be. Every few minutes, they would ask me questions about what she had taken. When I finally thought about it, I thought, oh, the shots.
Yeah.
They started researching side effects and running more tests. It was so new. The side effects had not been exposed to doctors just yet. And meanwhile, one of the doctors came to talk to me. It wasn't good, she says. If they couldn't find out what the problem was, she wasn't going to make it. Less than 30 minutes, they were moving her to the ICU and starting fluids. It was the shot. They flushed her system along with medications to get rid of her pancreatitis, I guess, of the issues she was having. She stayed for 5 days. The drug had affected her pancreas. The first time she saw this new doctor, he gave her this drug. Her doctor pushed the drug on us. No information on side effects. It was so new. She has recovered, but does watch some of what she eats, trigger foods and things that can cause that pancreas to act up again. The weight loss drugs do have side effects, and they may not be the, quote, normal side effects, but they are there. And by the way, this was sent to me after she saw our last conversation. I'd emailed out to folks to let them know. By the way, folks, if you're not getting updates, make sure you get to see them all. JustinBarclay.com and sign up for the good newsletter. But this is my point: is that how many people are out there going through these things? How many people are having even worse side effects and symptoms? Thankfully she's still alive today, but we saw the guy pass out in the Oval Office. That was what the whole story was that triggered all this.
Yes. I get to hear horror stories every day because I'm working with the American public daily. And like you mentioned, it's not just Michigan client people that I'm talking to. It's because of the Steve Gruber and the MAHA movement. Our company is getting nationwide exposure, but we still operate as a small, awesome company. But yeah, I just spoke with a gentleman the other day because this is another thing that they're just sneaking it in. Somebody needed to have hip replacement or knee replacement surgery, but their A1C was too high. So they said, we need to get that A1C lower. And they gave him a free shot to get his A1C lower. Well, he ended up losing like 15 pounds. So he's now calling me And he calls me and I'm like, wow, do you have any weight to lose? He's like, no. He was like, but I want to get my A1C down. I'm like, where's your A1C at now? And it was even higher than what it was prior to the shot. And now this man has muscle wasted. He has nothing left to lose on his body. And he's calling me for help. And I mean, the story, I mean, that's not, I mean, that and we're trying to figure out how we can help him in the best way, because literally, yeah, that's another sidebar story. But yeah, I mean, another guy, his esophagus keeps getting eroded, and then he has to keep going and having ablation surgery because the acid reflux is going up there and just melting his esophagus. And it's just like another client of ours, she called us and she said all the teachers that she works with, they're all on the shots, they're all excited, they've lost weight. She's like, but Missy, they look like they're the Walking Dead. She goes, they're gray, their eyes are dull, but they're excited that they've lost weight. And one of her closest friends had just died 2 weeks prior, and the only thing that's changing are the shots. I mean, they take the shot and they walk about and they do their 18 errands that day. They forget that basically it's the same thing as putting diesel gasoline fuel into your normal car. The human body was not designed, God's design was not, we weren't made to recognize those chemicals coming in. And that's going back to like what, we'll probably talk about too, the chemicals in the food. The chemicals, the food and dye chemicals that are in the food, the article that, you sent over about what they're tackling, like the top 11, the bad 11, the food and chemical dyes, because even though they're pretty and they make your food look nice, they're ravaging the inside of your body. It's crazy.
Yeah, one of the stories, in fact, we're looking at right now, ban of harmful school lunch ingredients urged by mom. This isn't a news story. It's been out there for a while, but there are ultra-processed foods, very harmful additives. You wonder how we get so sick. We got these SNAP recipients getting like thousands of dollars a month, and they're being able to go buy soda and chips and just all the sweets and things like that are not good for them. Then we have bad health, and we incentivize all of this. You wonder why. By the way, if you wanted to attack a country, and take them out, this is what you would do, Missy.
Yeah, we talk about the 80-legged 80-legged octopus. This is the one thing that that article said that the largest fast food restaurant is the school.
I believe it.
And what do we know about fast food, the fast food industry? I mean, you see the people in there, and it's just like people in line, they're just they're dying to get that cheeseburger. But I want to highlight, like, listen to this, the chemicals that our government allows in our system that other countries have banned. Listen to this, like the potassium bromate, it's a dough additive that helps bread and pizza crust puff up. Okay, so that's cool. So we have puffy, awesome looking crust. Well, what is that going to cost us? It damages, I'm reading this, it damages our cells and has been linked to cancer in animal studies. But guess what? We got awesome looking crust, right? So then there's a paraben. This preservative acts like a fake estrogen in the body, so it can mess with our hormones. Do you look at what's happened throughout the last 20 years, and we're wondering why girls are starting their periods earlier than normal? Why are the boys acting maybe more feminine and things like that? Well, is it that's a whole nother story, but that's a chemical that's on almost all foods. But listen to this one. There's titanium dioxide that's also allowed in our kids' food. This is what's allowed in our food. It's basically white paint for food, tiny particles that irritate the gut and damage the DNA. The DNA, right?
Wow.
Yeah. There, okay, so let's just jump into those, like, the yellow, like, oh, you got a yellow Skittles, we got yellow this, yellow that, we got yellow. What does yellow do? It triggers sensitivity reactions and has raised cancer concerns in animal studies. That's not allowed in other countries. Why? Probably because what it's showing in animal studies. The blue dye. That what this does irritates the gut and your immune system, especially in sensitive people. Well, who's not sensitive these days? Our guts are ruined. Almost
Yeah,
every
when you're putting toxic stuff in your body, your chances are you're going to be sensitive to it, right?
Yeah,
I mean, come on.
yeah. So here's another one. The green. For those that like green M&Ms, like they have the green M&M. I mean, listen, I'm not bashing. Let's have fun and eat food and enjoy it, but we also have to know what it's doing. So the green dye is from petroleum and it's linked to tumors in animal studies. Red, oh, it causes thyroid tumors. But you know what? I mean, but at least the Gatorades, all of these things that we are drinking, anything that's got a color in it these days, if it's not from natural, you're getting that chemical in your body. And that chemical, you just don't go and pee it out. You don't lose it in the stool. That chemical on the inside of the body acts as a messenger. That's exactly what it does. It acts as a messenger, and that's something that might sound foreign, but when people do talk to us in a deeper one-on-one conversation in our consults, it will finally make sense to people because every single cell has a unique frequency coming out of it. It's sending a signal. And all of these chemicals that I'm talking about, they're all cells with signals coming out. And those signals are signaling and they're talking to the brain, the thyroid, your pituitary. That we talked not too long ago about the pituitary gland and part of the 80-legged octopus. What are they trying to do? They're trying to calcify our little pineal gland up there. Pineal gland, it totally is in charge. It has so many jobs, but one of the biggest ones it does is in charge of our circadian rhythm. Are we sleeping well at night? Well, the majority of Americans aren't, and they don't know why. And that's where it's frustrating because I feel like I know the answers that so many people are looking for, but they just don't know what they don't know. They don't know how amazing the human body is. And sorry, I went off on a tangent, but
Hey, how about this meme over on our good friends on the VIP and the Freedom Fam right now? Terry post: humans spray food with poison so other animals won't eat it.
Yes.
And then go ahead and eat it themselves. Think about it.
Yes, it's
Wow.
exactly it. And those memes is what's waking people up because the world's just inundated with so much information. And it's like, who do you look for that's going to tell you the right thing? Well, look to people that aren't getting paid by the lot. Don't look to the bad people in Washington or all the people that are out there pushing. The doctors should know before they put that injection in the client what the ramifications are. Shame on those doctors because I'm not a doctor and I'm very diligent as to what are our clients taking. We have to know what's going inside the body or else you're just going to chase your tail. I mean, no one is getting off medications in America. They're only going to the doctor and getting more added.
Yeah. Speaking of chasing your tail and people saying that, hey, if your dog won't eat it, it's probably not good for you.
Correct. That's true.
We've seen some of that in our house. Dog goes crazy when it's steak night. We're having steak, so okay. Oh, that's probably good. That's probably okay. Chicken, yeah.
Yeah.
If there's candy, like the kids had candy for Halloween, now you don't want to touch that. It's not real food.
It's
He
not.
doesn't want any part of it.
Yeah, I mean, we take better care of our cars than we do our body.
Yeah,
I mean,
unfortunately.
and then people are spending all the money on to make themselves look all nice and pretty and everything, but they don't know that their bodies on the inside is in a train wreck. And some people feel the train wreck and they don't know what to do about the train wreck. But we do. I see the tides turning in America. That article that you sent over, it said from 2015 to 2018. There was a 28.2% increase in teens with prediabetes. Well, guess what that feeds? That feeds the medical model because they're going to need type 2 diabetic medication. And then they're going to be stuck on it for the rest of their life because they'll never tell them how they can get off of it. And I'm telling you, we had in our staff meeting the other day where like we always share testimonies. And there was a lady again. I mean, she has been on sleep apnea machine for years. She's been a very bad type 2 diabetic for a couple decades, and she was freaking out excited because for 3 days in a row, when we're talking to her, her blood sugar numbers were normal. She doesn't know what to do with herself. I mean, she, like, went to the she, like, went to the doctor. She's like, "Is something wrong with me? My numbers are normal." People don't know what to do when their numbers become normal. That's a shame. They should be coming normal. If you're taking the medicine and your A1C is still high, the medicine's not working. If you're
I tell you, I just got my lab work the other day because I get it every 10 weeks for staying on top of things. And I'm not on any medications or anything like that, but this is part of, just making sure that I'm doing the right things. And it's never looked better. I mean, and I don't need the lab work to tell you. It's always good to see the lab work, but I'm telling you, I've never felt better, and that's a part of, I think, what we're watching, what we're seeing play out. And by the way, that's part of the Maha revolution. I got some clips I want to play from you from the summit. By the way, if you think RFK Jr. is good, here's his son Finn laying it out. He opened the conference last week,
same place.
talking about the problems in
Chronic
America.
illness makes your dreams feel impossible. It separates you from your relationships, and it mutes the colors of your life.
See, this is the problem. People don't realize what this does. When you make people fat, sick, nearly dead their entire lives, they lose that essence, the thing that really drives you. And then guess what? Well, wonder the world or the government, whatever it wants, maybe our foreign enemies. They want to make us weaker so we can't be strong.
correct.
Together, we can make a real impact.
It turns 1,000 dreams into one. My journey is a template for the battles that are becoming more and more common for millions of Americans. The experience of a mother in this country today is different than it was 40 years ago. She's 3 times more likely to be obese, 2 times more likely to need a C-section, and 3 times more likely to die in childbirth. When the baby comes out of the womb, it is thrust into an environment with 80,000 chemicals and fed infant formula with lead and mercury. If that baby goes to public school, 2/3 of their diet will be processed food.
Yep.
If it's a boy, there's a 15% chance he's put on a stimulant. If it's a girl, there's a 50% chance she experiences persistent feelings of depression.
I'll tell you, you don't have to worry about our future. That's RFK Jr.'s son.
Amen. Yes.
Talking about, but this is so important because look at the picture they just laid out. No wonder we have so many problems. But the good news is, it has to be said, I've never seen anything like this before. When you voted for making America healthy again, and these are people that generally, a lot of them never voted, never got involved, or maybe they were kind of felt crunchy and maybe they voted Democrat. This is the kind of thing that they voted for, is to see this massive change. I've never seen people come together in a forum, in a setting with a platform like that, talk about these things in the way that they're being talked about today.
Yeah. I've been in this fight for 28 years, started with that vaccine damaged son. Again, I want to cry with what he's saying because what we've lost is hope. When you don't have hope, you go into depression. The Bible's very clear. Hope deferred makes the heart grow sick. That's not a Hallmark quote. That's a real thing. And with what we're seeing, hope's alive. Hope has always been alive. It's been muted. It's been muted by the MSM, by people in places and powers. We know what the Bible says. We're against principalities and powers of darkness, and the light is coming in. Truth is coming out, and the darkness, the the lies are being exposed. And once you see, you can't unsee it. And that is why what's happening is more and more and more people are gradually waking up and seeing the delusion of the system that we've been a part of. I'm like, welcome, come on in. I've got a couch. Let's go sit over here and let's talk. Because I'm telling you, I mean, this sounds like we're revealing what's already we were revealing what's been there the whole time. But what's happening is we're course correcting because there's finally somebody in place that is going to do something about it. Finally, we have a chance. My granddaughters, I've got 2 of them. They've got a fighting chance to have the life that they were designed to have. And what a time to be alive. You know, what a time to be alive.
Maha Missy Malone with the folks at My Pure Health Solutions, by the way, and it's probably worth noting again, that's what we're talking about. When we talk about this, the very thing that really made me, say, okay, it's time to get back on track is looking at what happened to Charlie Kirk, and of course the impact he was able to make. And I heard some things and watched I think it was on the podcast. One of these days I have to pull it up for you, but I think it was on the podcast with, oh gosh, what is his name? It'll come to me, but it's like a faith-centered podcast, and he's talking about a young man and I think maybe his fiance or something. They're talking about just all kinds of things, and then Charlie eventually gets into the things that, like, what he's eating and why he's doing certain things, and he's so strict about his diet and that discipline that kind of, he said, I need it for the fuel to be able to accomplish everything. Well, I realized that too. In order to be able to accomplish what we're called to do, I had to get this thing back on track for me and my family. And again, this is so important for all of us. You have so much life left in you. As long as there's breath in your lungs, the good Lord puts that breath in your lungs. You're here for a reason. He's got something for you.
Right.
So, we've been pressing you, telling you about the results I've gotten. Over 20 pounds down, and I'll have an official total for you next week. But I feel better than ever. The pounds are one thing. It's all the energy that I get. It's how well I sleep at night. It's the clothes that fit much better. It's the fact that I get to show up and be the dad I was created to be the husband I was created to be. Right now, there's a Black Friday special, and I'll let you tell us a little bit about it, though, because as folks want to get involved, you've seen the results from other people. It's been incredible. Missy and the crew want to do everything that they can to make it as affordable as possible. People can take advantage of the very same things that I've been doing. Trucker Randy, Steve Gruber, all these great folks. Lowest price of the year. You can lock in your discounted rate right now for really affordable price. And you don't have to just get started right now. You can come along with me at the first of the year where I start my next phase and be a part of this. Just reserve your slot because they only have a few of these left. They're going to go fast. Trust me. It's not just me talking about this. It's Steve, it's Trucker Randy, and as you heard, this is starting to get out. The word is starting to get out, and people want to be involved. So get it, no matter what it is that you're looking to do. Get a little more energy, maybe get off some of those medications, get rid of that sleep apnea device. So many people are seeing some amazing results. And it's my prayer that you would too.
Yeah, it works. People just don't know what they don't know. It's not your fault you can't lose weight. You've just never been told what controls the metabolism. If you know what's controlling something, you're going to go to the root of it. And that's what we do. The body's amazing. And we love watching light bulbs turn on when we explain to them how the body works.
Yeah. All natural, by the way, too. Probably should say that too. No.
Very much all natural. Real food, no exercise.
Yeah. Isn't that something? Hey, by the way, I thank you for everything you're doing in the fight, Missy. You're always on top of it. We appreciate all of your hard work.
Yeah, your listenership is so amazing. I love talking to them when they call in, like, oh, hey, I see you heard us from Justin. Like, I love Justin. They love you so much.
This is the Maha 2026 special. If you go to healthwithjustin.com, do they need to do anything else, or just tell them that they want the Black Friday special?
We're simple. We're such you just say, hey, I'm going to talk to you on the phone. You're going to talk to either me or Charity, my other business partner. You talk to the real people that are really running the show. We just have a consult. We're going to have a conversation. Tell me about yourself. Tell me what you've tried. What medications are you on? And then sit down and buckle up. And I'm going to explain to you over the course of our conversation how the body works. And once you understand that, then I explain the 4 simple steps, which is eat real food, take the supplements, take the customized formulas. That's the buzzword, customize. Everybody is being you are an individual person with a unique set of circumstances on the inside of your body. You need a unique approach. You need something customized to your body to turn your metabolism back on. And that's why the results happen, because we literally are bringing jumper cables to jump start the metabolism, because we are going to show you why your body hasn't been able to lose weight. And it has nothing to do with what you've been thinking. It has everything to do with cells. There are 2,800 markers inside every human body that's controlling the metabolism. Hormones, huge one. But you have to hear it in a way you probably have never heard it before, because it's frequencies. It's something that it's information, technology, and science that's been suppressed for over 100 years. And I'm telling you, it's going to be good. If you want to get off type 2 diabetic medication, if you want any eczema, psoriasis, brain fog, I mean, you name it. And Scott, age is not a factor. Age is irrelevant to this, to what we do. I mean, I've got so many people in my 70s on this program. It's not even funny, because you've been lied to. You've been told that being overweight is just part of aging. Well, I guess, but I'm here to tell you it doesn't have to be.
Yeah. I love it. Making America healthy again, one person at a time. Thank you so much for everything you do, Missy. Really appreciate you.
I appreciate you too. All right.
Happy Thanksgiving, by the way, too. We should probably say.
Happy Thanksgiving. God bless you guys. I do have to say, I want to do a shout out. One of your people that has known me for a while, she saw me on another show that I used to do over there in the Grand Rapids area. And she watches you now. She's like, I'm so excited to see you. She like texted me. She's like, can we get on a call? So I talked to her. Went through some things that she's going, just talk to her for a hot minute. Her name's Cindy, if she's on watching, but she said something the other day. It was really cool. She goes, Missy, she goes like, I just want to thank you. She's like, you're changing the world. And I was like, oh, thank you. Yeah. I feel good to hear that. So, and you are too, Justin. So thank you.
We all are. If we just walk that path that God's laid out in front of us, we can get it done. I just thank you for doing that.
Hey, God bless you guys. Happy Thanksgiving.
You too. God bless.